The annual meetings were always very well done. Received a lot of good training there, a lot of good information, and had a lot of fun. Also, as a member of OASE, I was able to participate in the National Association, and I appreciated the opportunity to attend their conferences and learn from them. I guess also I'd have to say the relationships that I developed with other association directors, many of whom we fought against at the legislature, but were good buddies with otherwise. And so I think those are some of the best memories I have. There were a lot of the other directors that I relied on for their wisdom that had worked on legislative issues for years, a lot longer than I had, and knew better ways to approach legislators and get their ideas across, their programs across. I think of people like Bill Skeeth, for example, Leo Cravens comes to mind. If I thought about it, I'm sure I'd come up with a lot of other names, but those are some in particular that I thought always had been very successful in performing their legislative duties, and I felt like I could take get a lot of instruction from them. Obviously, getting your legislative goals taken care of and completed, or at least a majority of them. Having boards of directors that are interested in your program and that really want to buy into it, and that's not always easy to do. I'm sure you've heard from others the same message. So being able to get that participation, getting people involved in our programs and buying into them, I think probably fills that category. Oh, I'm sure it's more so because of all the different issues that come up now that impact all of the associations. It used to be, I could remember maybe my association being impacted by certain things that Congress might want to do, or certain regulatory agencies and so forth, and maybe I'd be the only one, or maybe two or three others would be the only ones impacted. But now then, I think almost all associations are impacted in the same way, by the same regulation, by the same provisions. And I think an association that can understand those and dig into them and keep everybody informed is probably more relevant now than ever. They need to be patient. They're not going to get things done overnight when you're working with boards of directors. In my association, my board of directors was made up of people who were volunteers to begin with, so they were volunteers to be volunteers. And that's probably the case in other associations too, but a lot of them are made up of individuals that are involved that's their livelihood. I was working with municipal officials, and so they're making a living otherwise, and so they were voluntarily being on my board. And I think being able to get those folks involved and get them wanting to do what I wanted them to do was probably fills that bill. If I'm going to participate in an organization, I want to participate to the highest extent I can. Obviously, it takes a lot of time and it takes some money in a lot of instances, but my association was pleased to allow me to become as trained as I could become, and CAE required certain elements of learning about association management that I probably wouldn't have cared about or even known about otherwise. So if I'm going to participate in an organization, I want to get all out of it that I can, and the CAE allowed me to do that, I think. Keep up with the technology. I was visiting out in the hallway a few minutes ago, and this is kind of an aside, I guess, but I was talking about some of the new technology that's available and the way you can get information out and the way you can gather information. And I was sitting next to someone at a ball game the other night who was able to keep track of a score on another game that I was interested in, and she would show me her iPad every once in a while that had the data on there that I was looking for. It even showed some of the pictures of the game going on, and here we were at another game, And I said, man, I'm just learning to use the dial telephone. And everybody got a kick out of that. But that's a problem, I think, that too many of us maybe have not kept up. There's no need for me to now that I'm retired necessarily. But I think an association can be most helpful in that. I've gone to a lot of programs and conferences sponsored by OASE that had training programs involving technology that I probably would not have gotten otherwise. And so I think they're going to have to really keep up with that technology. They're going to have to keep good records. They've got to be able to teach associations how to keep good records. And I think there's a lot of things that OSAE can do in the next 50 years to stay up with it. Technology, obviously, I think is probably going to be the key. Oh, absolutely. I get frustrated that individuals that I know ought to be involved in OSAE that are not. Just kind of a little personal quirk I have that, here again, if I'm going to work for an association or whoever I'm going to work for, I'm going to try my best to become as knowledgeable as I can about that position. And I cannot see me not participating in an organization like OASE and the relationships that you can build with other individuals. They've got the same problems you've got. Maybe they can resolve them, maybe I can resolve them and help someone else. So through that participation, I think you need it.